Okay, so AI art as propaganda. It's
Yeah.
pretty wild stuff. And we're going to take a deep dive into all that with Ukrainian artist Alex Buzunov.
Yeah, what's interesting to me about this is how he's using AI, these readily available AI tools, to challenge like a global superpower.
Right.
It's turning these algorithms into a weapon.
Yeah. It's definitely not just like making a cool picture. You know what I mean? This is about fighting back against misinformation and like offering a perspective, a Ukrainian perspective on what's happening over there.
And the fact that it's a Ukrainian citizen living through it
Right?
makes it really personal. Like you can feel the emotion woven into these AI-generated images.
So who is this guy, this Alex Buzunov?
So he's a Ukrainian artist and, really using these tools to, I think, combat the propaganda and showcase like the resilience of the Ukrainians.
So it's like digital activism meets like art therapy.
Yeah.
But instead of a canvas, it's like an algorithm.
Right.
And quote, yeah, exactly. And some of this stuff is really clever. Like some of these images, like the kitten and the lion. Have you seen this one?
Oh yeah, masterpiece of symbols.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
So it's like this tiny little kitten
Yeah.
looking in the mirror, but instead of seeing its reflection, it sees a lion staring back. And framing the entire image is a Ukrainian flag.
It really makes you think about the power of perspective. Like even the smallest of nations, when faced with like a formidable adversary,
Right.
can tap into this wellspring of inner strength.
And I think that the kitten adds another layer to it because it's like, what's more harmless than a kitten?
Absolutely.
And it's just this like,
Yeah, plays on our empathy.
So
Ukraine perceived vulnerability versus this like just aggression.
And this one was made with Midjourney, which is one of the AI art generators that he uses. He uses several, but it's not all like symbolism and the subtle messaging. He also like goes straight into satire,
yeah.
like the one of Putin as a pig.
Oh yeah, that's a bold one. It's audacious, using humor and absurdity to challenge this powerful figure.
Yeah, he's covered in, it looks like bird poop for crying out loud, and also done with Midjourney.
Wow.
Which again, like when you think about it, it's not like he's slaving away in a studio.
Yep.
This is technology that's
It's so readily available, and to make such a powerful statement.
I'm really curious, like from just a purely artistic point of view, what do you think about all this?
Yeah, I think it's really interesting. I think it speaks to the democratization of satire. Like if you think about it, political cartoons, they used to be limited to a handful of artists who had the skills.
Right.
But now with AI, anyone can create these really visually appealing and potentially subversive images.
It's like a digital Banksy poster,
Exactly.
It's like instead of spray paint, it's an algorithm.
Yeah. And that accessibility is exhilarating, but it's also a little terrifying.
I can see that.
Right. Exhilarating in that it gives a voice to people who maybe didn't have a voice before, but also terrifying because it's, blurring the lines between what's real and what's fake.
Yeah, and how do you even analyze? Like, how effective is this stuff? Like, I get it. It's, like, easy to create, easy to share. It can spread like wildfires online, but, like, can't people just look at it and be like, oh, it's fake?
Yeah, that's the million-dollar question, right?
Right.
But I think the answer is way more complicated than just yes or no.
Okay.
Because we're wired to respond to visuals in a way that we don't respond to words, right?
Right.
So even if you know that an image is fake, like even if you consciously know that, it can still evoke a really visceral response.
It's like they say, a picture's worth 1,000 words, but in this case, it's like a picture's worth 1,000 questions.
Right, exactly. And that's why I think context is more important than ever. The why behind the image. Because AI in and of itself, it's not good or bad. It's just a tool, right? It's all about how it's used.
Okay, so it's not just about the image. It's about like who's making it, why they're making it, and then how is it being shared, like in the world.
Absolutely. And that sort of brings us to, I think, like the larger implications of this, because this isn't just about Ukraine. AI image generation it's like, it's changing so fast.
Yeah.
And the potential consequences, they're huge.
It's like we're all trying to like learn the rules of a game as the game's being played,
Totally.
And we've got these like crazy tools at our disposal, but it's like, are we using them responsibly? How do we navigate a world where seeing isn't believing anymore?
It's a question that I think about a lot, to be honest.
Yeah.
Technology is way ahead of, like, our ability to really understand how to deal with this.
Right.
But I think one thing's for sure. We need a really different way of like how we think about information.
Yeah, it really feels like we've gone through the looking glass here, Like anything we see could be made by a computer.
Yeah, and how do you even know?
Right.
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 And that's the thing we're facing. It's not good enough to just like see something and be like, okay, I believe that.
Hmm.
You have to be like an active, discerning viewer.
Right.
Question what you're seeing, think about the source, check it against something else.
So it's not just about spotting fakes, but it's also about like understanding why something was made.
Totally. You have to ask yourself, who made this and why?
Mm-hmm.
What are they trying to say?
Right.
And then you have to think about like, are they biased?
It's exhausting.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like every time I'm scrolling through my phone now, it's like I have to like stop and be like, wait a minute.
Right. But it's important though. It's really important.
Yeah. I mean, are there any ways to tell? Like, are there telltale signs that something is AI generated?
Yeah, sometimes there's like inconsistencies in the image itself.
Yeah.
Like maybe the background's a little wonky or, the textures are a little off. Or have you noticed how AI has a hard time with hands?
Oh, yeah. The hands always look weird.
Yeah. Yeah. So that can be a giveaway, but they're getting better at it.
Right. Right.
So it's more important than ever to be like really thinking critically about what you're seeing.
So don't trust, always verify, right?
Yeah, basically.
I mean, but there's got to be like a positive side to all this, right? Like it can't all be doom and gloom.
No, absolutely. Like I said, it's a tool, right? So any tool can be used for good. And I think AI art has amazing potential for things like storytelling.
Yeah.
Like raising awareness about issues that matter, connecting with people.
Like what Buzanov is doing.
Exactly.
He's highlighting what's happening. And I don't think he could do it as effectively, if he was using like traditional art, if that makes sense.
And that's what makes it so interesting is like we're seeing this whole new form of art and expression, and we don't even know what it is yet.
So where do we go from here?
I think we just have to be open to it, but also cautious. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like we have to be excited about what it can do, but also really aware of how it can be used in a bad way.
So basically be aware, be engaged, and think critically.
Exactly, because it's not just art that this is going to change, it's everything.
Yeah, okay. Well, that's a lot to think about.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah. So to everyone listening, make sure to keep exploring these topics, keep asking questions, and stay curious. We're living in a crazy time where everything is changing so fast.
Totally. And who knows what amazing AI art is going to be made next week, right?
That's true. That's very true. Well, that's all the time we have for today's deep dive. We hope you enjoyed this episode, and be sure to check back for more deep dives into the world of AI, art, and everything in between.